where two gazes meet, an unforgettable story of love and secrets.
Lisa arrived at the old Carpathian estate with one task: to assess its condition for sale. She was a restorer, and her life consisted of textures, colors, and strict reports, not ghosts and family legends. The estate belonged to her family, but after a distant aunt's death, it passed into her hands as the sole heiress. On the very first evening, when a thunderstorm rumbled over the mountains, the power went out. Lisa lit the fireplace when she suddenly heard footsteps on the stairs. A man emerged from the darkness, tall, with a piercing gaze and a scornful smile. "You must be the new owner," he said, not introducing himself. "I'm Andriy. My family has been tending to this place for centuries. Your aunt promised the estate would remain under my care." He was rude and mysterious. Lisa saw him as an upstart trying to take her property. Andriy saw her as a city egotist who came to destroy centuries of history for money. Subscribe to my channel to get more stories. Their war began. She tried to take inventory. He hid keys to old rooms. She wanted to throw out old junk. He yelled that they were family relics. They communicated only through prickly notes. Everything changed when Lisa, exploring the attic, found her great-great-grandmother's old diary. On the last page was an inscription: "The family treasure is hidden where two gazes meet." Below it was a strange symbol, like a broken line. She didn't want to turn to Andriy, but this mystery was beyond her alone. She found him in the library, sorting through old books. "I found something," she said reluctantly, showing him the diary. Andriy initially looked dismissive, but upon seeing the symbol, his face changed. "I've seen this sign on the fireplace in the mirror hall." That night, by candlelight, they studied the diary together. He told stories about the estate that no one else knew. She realized his rudeness was just a defense mechanism of someone who truly loved this place. He brought her tea made from mountain herbs. She shared her chocolate with him. He told her how his grandfather died while tending the garden. She laughed when he imitated her aunt, chasing him for stealing apples as a child. He saw how her smile lit up the entire room. Together, they figured out that two gazes referred to two portraits in the ballroom facing each other. Behind them, they found a secret room. There was no gold. Instead, there were love letters between her great-great-grandmother and his great-great-grandfather, who had been separated by war. The real treasure was their story. Lisa canceled the sales agreement. She decided to restore the estate. Andriy became her right-hand man. Their collaboration was perfect. Her knowledge of historical techniques and his deep understanding of every beam in the house. But one day a letter arrived. A large hotel chain wanted to buy the estate and the surrounding land to build a resort. They offered a fortune. Lisa refused, but a week later, local residents who were promised jobs began pressuring her. They accused her of selfishness. Lisa was in despair. That's when she and Andriy locked themselves in the library and came up with a plan. They wouldn't sell. They would turn it into a cultural center and a small hotel, providing jobs for locals and preserving history. At the public hearing, Andriy, whom everyone knew and respected, spoke passionately about the estate's future. Lisa backed his words with clear financial calculations and plans. They were a single unit. The locals supported them. Victory was theirs. That same night, they celebrated their success in the library by the light of the fireplace. The wine was exquisite, and the conversations were deep and sincere. They talked about fears, dreams, and how their paths had strangely intertwined. You know, when you first appeared with that scornful smile, I thought I hated you. Lisa sighed, swirling her glass. Andriy smiled. And I thought you were just another rich egotist who came to ruin my life. I was wrong. His gaze grew serious. You revived not just the estate. You revived something in me, too. He reached out and touched her face. His touch was tender but full of desire. He didn't kiss her right away. He let the tension build, his lips barely brushing her temple, then her cheek, finally finding her lips. This kiss was slow and deep, filled with everything they hadn't dared to say. It was a kiss of liberation. He picked her up and carried her away from the fireplace, up the old stairs to her bedroom. The moon peered through the large window, lighting their path. The clothes that had once been a barrier between two worlds disappeared. Only skin, kisses, and whispers remained. His hands explored every inch of her body with the reverence of a discoverer who had finally found a lost treasure. Her fingers traced the scars on his back, silent witnesses to his physical labor, now so dear to her. Their breaths merged into a single rhythm, and quiet moans replaced words. It wasn't frenzy or rush. It was a slow, conscious dance where every movement spoke of the trust being born between them. Morning found them tangled in the sheets, in the rays of the sun streaming through the window. Lisa's head lay on his chest, and she could hear his heartbeat, now the calmest sound in the world. "What happens now?" she asked softly, drawing invisible patterns on his skin. Subscribe to my channel to get more stories. "Now," he said, kissing her hair, "we will build not just the estate. We will build our life together." They stayed at the estate. Lisa officially made Andriy a co-owner and manager. Their cultural center thrived, and a year later, during a grand ball reviving old traditions, Andriy publicly got down on one knee and proposed to Lisa. Tears of happiness welled in her eyes as she said yes. The true treasure hidden in the old estate was not the past, but the future they found in each other.